All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. We were expecting quite a few more students. However, a lot of times they trickle in. Um, some may have technical issues, but I'll go ahead and get started for those who got here promptly, and I appreciate you coming and joining us today. But my name is Jeffrey Willett, and I am the academic advisor for the iSchool, the School of Information here at the University of Texas at Austin. And this is the Informatics Prospective Student Information Session. So you're in the right place if that's where you were trying to get to. Before I get started, I always like to give students a little bit of a brief backdrop of my career. Before this, I was at the Cockrell School of Engineering, where I was a coordinator for scholarships and recruitment and working with undergraduate students there. And previous to that, I was at the University of Colorado Boulder, where I was the assistant director for the MBA program at the Leeds School of Business. And I always like to tell students that so that you know that when you reach out to me, I've got a wealth of experience and in higher education, and always look forward to answering any questions that you might have about informatics and in the program itself here at the University of Texas. And with that, so the way this will kind of progress today is that I'm going to do the presentation. I'm going to speak directly about the program and keep it specific to the informatics program. However, if any of you have any questions regarding admissions or the admissions application process, we have one of their representatives, Jamie Helton, here, and she'll be monitoring the chat. And so any admissions specific questions that you have, you can direct them directly to her in the chat. If you do have informatic questions, if we have some time at the end of the presentation, I'll definitely take some of those questions and we'll kind of see if we can get through those. And then I'll also make sure that my email address is in the chat, and you're welcome to reach out to me after this presentation is over. And I'll be more than happy to address any of the questions about our program that you have. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started here. Before we talk about the informatics program, I think it's very important to speak to the legacy and the history of the University of Texas. We always like to highlight that, when you come to the University of Texas, you're not only joining the iSchool and the School of Information, you're joining a very vibrant campus. And we're very proud of the things that we can offer students outside of the school that they actually are in for their educational pursuits. And so with that, we have a robust UT Law School. I'll just kind of reference some of the pictures here. Many of you know a lot about our sports programs. Our sports programs are off the charts. We're always in the top 10 for most of our sports, whether it's softball, baseball, football, of course, basketball, track, just all of the sports, volleyball. So we're a very elite program. We have very elite athletics here, and we're very proud of that legacy that we have here. Also, we were one of the first schools to start a Latino studies program way back in the 1970s. So we're very innovative, much like the iSchool that I'm going to speak to today in the informatics program. And then, we also boast, over 17 libraries and 10 museums on campus itself, on the 40 acres. So those are just some of the things that you would become a part of if your admissions to the university is successful and you join our community, which we absolutely look forward to seeing you on the 40 acres. You get a chance to kind of see and touch and feel a lot of these different programs that we offer, and be a part of a vibrant community here at the University of Texas. One of the other things that we always like to boast about, the community here is the academic support that we offer our students. It's a lot of anxiety, when you're about to go into college, and we recognize that as administrators here at the university. Not only am I an academic advisor, and this is my profession, and having worked with students, like I said, in the business school and engineering, and now in the iSchool, but I'm very fortunate to have a son that's a freshman at the University of Colorado Boulder, and a daughter that's on her way to the University of Washington in Seattle. So we actually, a lot of us on campus have kids. We know what it's like to make that transition from high school to college. And I always tell my students and the families that I speak to is that when you're here at the university, many of our administrators come from robust families. We know what you're going through. And it's not only just our profession and professional careers, but we actually live this out, many of us, in our everyday lives, in our homes. So we get it. We really understand what it takes to succeed at the college level. And with that, the University of Texas offers a myriad of learning opportunities and learning kind of specific academic support systems within all throughout campus, and especially within the dorms. And I'll speak to a few of those today. We have the Longhorn Center of Academic Excellence that empowers students personally, academically, and professionally. We also have the Sanger Center, which offers one-on-one tutoring, as well as peer academic coaching and public speaking support. You know, when it comes to public speaking, in many of the classes, no matter the major, whether you're in business or engineering or the iSchool or in liberal arts, you're bound to have classes where you have to give a presentation. You're going to do some research, you're going to give a presentation, and you're going to speak before the class. And we understand that this is something that a lot of people get kind of nervous about. I know I certainly was years ago when I began, when I was in my college career and actually having to present. It was nerve-wracking at the beginning. And so we have a support system here to help you with those kinds of one-on-one tutoring, public speaking, and academic coaching overall. We also have a writing center in the PCL library right on campus. That's just an awesome center for students to go and get some help with writing research papers, and steps on how to, formulate your thesis, for example, and, where to kind of put certain ideas that you have for your research project within a paper that is articulated in a way that's going to make sense to the audience that you're presenting to. So we also talk about how to cite primary and secondary resources, as well as there's different styles of writing. You may have a psychology professor that wants you to write in an APA style, or an English professor who wants you to write in MLA. You need to be able to know what those differences look like, what they entail. And so our writing center has not only faculty and staff, but we also have graduate students that are there to help you with this endeavor. And you can set up an appointment, go in and get the help that you need. And all of these services are free to our students. I always like to make that clear, because this is part of, when you become a part of, the iSchool and the University of Texas, you're part of a robust community where you are now going to be a future Longhorn. You're going to be an alumni, and you're going to always have a connection to the university. And we're going to support you throughout this endeavor. We're going to kind of switch gears here and get towards the iSchool now. And, many of you realize and know, because I'm sure you've done your research, that this is our inaugural year for our undergraduate program. However, we've been a graduate school at the University of Texas for many, many years, and producing and delivering PhD programs, as well as masters in information science programs. And we have for years now had an informatics minor that students can also add to their transcripts. And I put this information up to kind of give you an idea that, our graduate school is always in the top 5. And we're very proud of that. And I always make sure that you know that, because when you know that about our school, you know the energy that our deans and the university, as well as the faculty and staff in the iSchool, have put into the undergraduate program. And we intend to be one of the top iSchools and informatic programs in the country going forward over the next 5 years. Some of the students that we have now admitted, we have our first freshman class coming in. They're absolutely awesome students. We're going through orientation right now, and I've got a chance to meet a lot of them. But over the last year, I've met a lot of them through meetings and their parents. And many of our students, wanted to give you an idea of where their interests are lying in informatics. You know, they're centering in human centered social justice informatics, as well as user experience informatics. In the spring, we have what we call an internal transfer process. And what that entails is students at the University of Texas, they may be in the business school, they may be in College of Liberal Arts, they may be in advertising or in engineering, but they now want to add us on, now that we have this major, add us on as a second major, or they want to transfer into our school completely. And the internal transfers that we did last year, we had committed to taking 25 students, but we had such a high turnout of applications, and we had such stellar students, which isn't surprising, right? Because they're already at the University of Texas. We ended up taking 35 students. And I kind of gave this kind of graphic to kind of give you an idea of where they're coming from. And really what the goal and the takeaway from this graphic here of undergraduate studies all the way down to sociology, writing and rhetoric, psychology, mathematics, etc., is that informatics is an interdisciplinary degree that attracts students from all academic disciplines. And not only that, informatics, and I'll get more into this later, is in all industries. It's in all facets of our industries and in society. So there's a lot of different industry positions in informatics as well. Okay, so now let's really hone in. What is informatics, right? You know, when we talk about informatics, you know, it's one of those, it's a unique discipline among the academic disciplines that we have here. And I always tell students that it's the intersection of technology, people, and data. You know, with the advancements in technology, such as big data, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all things internet, you know, we really live in this digital age, or we live in what we call, you'll hear people say, the information age. You know, when I grew up, it was the industrial age, and many of your parents can identify with that particular articulation of the space we live in society. But now we are really in a digital age where everything that we do is centered online, much like what we're doing right here today. Some of the examples that you'll find in informatics at work in everyday career sectors are in health, finance, business, government, and just to give you an idea, is like, you know, when you get a test result from your doctor's office, you're using a healthcare portal many times to kind of get that information that they're sending over to you. When you interact with your credit card or your debit card, like many of you have done and will be doing more frequently now that you're going to be college students, you're interacting with the financial industry. So you're doing a lot of big business there. You know, right now we're embarking upon our fantasy football, right? And things like that. And I get an email from the commissioner of the league, and he says, "Hey, Jeffrey, do you want to sign up this year?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." And I'm doing that on an online portal. There was a student, and there was someone who did UX design who created that portal to make it user friendly for me to go in and pick my team and kind of interact with other players in there. If you're buying some shoes or an item on Amazon, you're doing informatics. Those are processes of informatics at work in our everyday lives. And for most of you, you're going to fill out the common application, and you're going to be dealing with informatics at the University of Texas via the application process, because it's all online. So everywhere you look at in society, we see informatics and the principles of informatics at work. And so we're really in that space now where we are connecting the globe together, whether you, no matter your geographic locale or where you're at in the world, informatics is a way for us to connect really quickly. It's been really cool because through the information, through our orientation, I've had students, you know, when we do this, when we do the orientations, we have a college meeting, and all students coming into every major has to attend their college meeting and orientation. And we have students in China, We have students in France. We have students in California, in New York, just all over the place, but we're all connecting in one place. And it's hilarious because sometimes we have students who, it's like 2 a.m. where they are, but it's 2 o'clock here in the afternoon. And we kind of laugh about that, but this is the way in which we are able to connect through informatics, through this online portal called Zoom. If you had stock in Zoom or WebEx or any of that before COVID, you just really came up, because now every company has bought these particular products to make sure that their particular industry can communicate virtually. So it's really exciting. To the PowerPoint, I'll just briefly read this. Informatics is, like I was saying, people, technology, and data. It's the study of design and application of computer and information technology from a user-centered perspective. It's about how information is collected, stored, manipulated, classified, organized, retrieved, and visualized. And one of the things that we always want students to know is that we promote equity and inclusion for a broader social impact. We make that statement for this reason. When we look at our society, we see that in many areas of society, there are marginalizations of certain groups, whether it be people from different geographic locales or people from different socioeconomic backgrounds, or even, people of different ethnicities, and even micro speaking in different communities within the cities we live in, right? And one of the things that and those things can be replicated online. One of the things that informatics students are always concerned about when they build a platform, or they're wrangling a lot of data or doing any type of crowdsourcing, one of the things that we always want to make sure that they understand is that we're here for a broader social impact. So on the one hand, we want to make sure that all of the data that is online is protected, and that people that go into a health portal or a financial portal can feel comfortable that their data is protected. So that's one thing, cyberspace security. And then conversely, we want to make sure there's this inclusivity, right? That all people have access to platforms that they want to use. And so we kind of, teeter that line of making sure that the data is safe and protected, but also making sure that it's an inclusive space where you can get online and feel safe and protected from any type of biases based on any of those factors that I just articulated. We come from a very human dimension. It's all about organizational structures, and then technology applications. And then we go back up and go data, information, and knowledge. And this is all about the collecting and organization of that data, building platforms and the like online. Before I move on, I'll just briefly state, because I get this question quite a bit, it's like, how is it different? How is informatics different than, say, computer science? What I would say to that is, or even management information systems in business, what I would say to that is they all have a lot of overlap in that they're technology based, right? So in those programs, you're going to learn, and even several liberal arts programs, you're going to learn programming in way of Java and SQL and R and Hadoop and Python and those things. But again, informatics is really concerned about the end user. We're concerned about us making a social impact, and making sure that we have that when we build platforms, or when we're dealing with data, that it's accessible in a way that is efficient and clear and concise. When you look at computer science, it's all about technology, and so it's all about it's very technical. And you can ask anybody in computer science and IT. It's a very technical about the hardware and the software, and you're going to learn those things. Same as in informatics. In business school and management information systems, they are doing information systems, and it's based on efficiency. They want to make sure that a platform is built for that business so that it can run efficiently and create revenue for the bottom line. So whether it's in marketing or or financial industry, any of those things within the business sector, they're going to make sure it's running in a way that is efficient and user friendly in that way. But that's where all of those kind of intersect in those regards. But we come from a very social impact space. We are all about making a positive social impact where we kind of eradicate the biases that can come from the online environment. Okay, our major concentrations. So at the University of Texas and in our informatics program, we have human-centered data science. Students can come in and major in user experience design, cultural heritage informatics, health informatics, social informatics, and social justice informatics. With those concentrations, we also offer a BSI, so a Bachelor of Science in Informatics, and a BA, Bachelor of Arts. And that's what makes us really very interdisciplinary. We have a STEM route that you can go, and we also have a Bachelor of Arts route that you can go, or a liberal arts route that you can go. To kind of tease this out a little bit, to give you an idea, there may be a student come in who's interested in UX design and building platforms, and they want to do it, they want to do the BSI. Those students are going to take additional courses that deal with like economic statistics or, more research analysis statistics, things of that nature. So they're going to have more STEM related courses out of the math department and out of other STEM related CNS and business and engineering, those kinds of courses from those departments that they're going to be taking for the BSI. And conversely, with liberal arts, they're going to be students who want to do UX design, but they're really about policy and making sure that when they build those platforms, that they're following the guidelines, whether it be state, local, or even government guidelines on those. And they want to make sure that there's no biases there. So they're all about government policies. And so those students are going to take more liberal arts focused courses. So courses in economics or political science or international affairs, those kinds of things, or even courses that deal with law. So ethical courses in that regard. Because eventually maybe they want to be a lawyer or something along those lines, but they want to do that in the online space and making sure that that space is safe, and that the state, local, and federal level is adhering, that those platforms are adhering to those guidelines that have been placed on that particular in the online environment. So those are kind of some of the ways that you can think about informatics. Human-centered data science is going to be crowdsourcing, wrangling a lot of data. User experience design is going to be building platforms so students can take the intro courses and then take advanced courses in programming and design. They're going to take courses in advertising design, or maybe even computational engineering, where you actually look at something, you say you have this idea of how something can move in a 3D way online, and they're going to go online in a computational engineering. They're going to use a lot of mathematics and see how those things work. Cultural heritage is dealing with, making sure that we curate and house data from like art galleries and museums and libraries and the like. Health informatics is pretty straightforward. You're dealing with a lot of, making sure that health outcomes, health data is protected, secured, those kinds of things. And then social and social justice informatics deals with a lot of the legalities, as I was saying, those students who want to do the BA route, or they want to be consultants for certain companies and tell them about, keep them abreast of social, so whether it be social justice specific or just the social environment. And keeping up with those social media sites, those kinds of things for different companies that are doing data analysis in that regard, or information analysis in those regards. So the way this looks is this. Pardon me. So this is our major. When you come into the University of Texas, or really any college, you're going to have a set of core courses. Those are called arts and science courses or liberal arts courses. And they're going to be things like government, social science courses, social and behavioral sciences, writing, history, those basic courses, those core courses that all students need to be well-versed in to get their college degree, again, regardless of major. And then you're going to have major specific courses. And for our major, our students in their first year are going to come in and they're going to take Intro to Informatics. They're going to take Academic Success in the Digital University. They're going to take Ethical Foundations as well as Programming. And then they're going to also take some research method courses throughout the year. There's a foreign language component and then a STEM and liberal arts component, and whether you're taking the STEM route, the BSI or the BA. But the major requirements kind of hone in here. With informatics, you get in the intro course of informatics, you get the professors are going to take a well-balanced look at each one of the concentrations that you could possibly major in. So all of the ones that I spoke to there. And what you have to do is you have to take 2 of these. So we always know that students have more than one interest. So we encourage students, you're going to be required to take 2 so that you can then kind of flesh those out. When you take those intro courses, then you can flesh out like, oh, okay, I think I'm going towards human-centered data science, or I'm going towards health informatics. And then you'll major in those particular, and you'll declare that concentration. You'll have advanced topics, career success. You'll have some elective courses, a capstone course, an honors thesis, and then additional elective courses that you can take throughout the campus that further buttress and further enhance your knowledge of the specific concentration that you're in. Now, that's just a brief look at it, but I also wanted to put together this so you can get a better idea of what these classes look like if you wanted to look them up online. These are actually the course numbers here. Is I-301 is Intro to Informatics. So if you want to take a screen shot of that, or you want to take a picture, these are the kind of the course numbers that you can look up and look at. And then, this is pretty standard, the hour requirements towards 120 degree requirement for all majors, and it's the same as ours. But this gives you the course numbers here. And then, just briefly with the informatics honors thesis, all students will take all of these depending on their concentration. They'll all be required to take career success, the capstones. But for those students that want to do our honors program, you'll apply to that once you're in the program. And then you'll put together and come up with an idea of a thesis that you want to work on. So it'll be a research project, and you'll connect with one of the professors that you've had classes with. They may be doing some work on social media sites or something AI specific, or platform design, and you have an idea of a company that you want to start, and you have a platform you want to kind of design. And so, professors that are doing platform designs, you'll work with one of them and come up with an idea in that first semester, your senior year. Then in the second semester, you're going to actually present that. You're going to write it out and really get it all fleshed out, and then present it to a group of your peers and professors to make sure that your project is on point. So that's kind of what the honors thesis looks like, if indeed you want to go that route. Through the admissions, just real quick, each department has an honors program, but there's also a university honors program. And when you go through the admissions process, you'll in the admissions application, the university honors program is what you'll kind of click on there. And then some schools will have you, they'll ask about, whether you want to do the honors program. If you are even thinking about doing departmental or ours, or I'm sorry, the universities, click on those, click on all of those things through that admissions application. And then when you get, so that you get it looked at for the university honors, but then when you get into our program, each program has you have to be in the program for at least a year, or have a semester GPA, or at least a semester, something like that, where you'll begin, then you can apply for the departmental honors program. All right, so our team. So as I was stating earlier, you know, we've been around quite a while. The undergraduate program is new in the iSchool, but the program itself is not. We have PhD. We've been delivering informatics PhDs for quite some time for those high-level data analysis or data research positions, as well as a master's program, an MSIS, a Master of Science in Information Science as well. And so we have a career development office, and Rachel Van Middlesworth is one of our team members in that office. And what they do is they work with students with resume and cover letter review, advice on career-related opportunities. So they're there to help you with those internship opportunities and connecting you with professors for research opportunities. So finding jobs and internships, and helping you understand what the interview process is like. So we'll be conducting for our undergraduate students what we call mock interviews. So when we have career fairs on the campus, many times you'll have an interview after that. And we want to make sure, and we have corporate representatives that come in from Amazon or Google or Dell, and many, many other companies that will come in, and you'll dress up one day and you'll do a mock interview with them, and they'll kind of help you through the process of applying or going through an interview for an internship, and then later on for a particular job as you're getting closer to graduating. These research opportunities and these internship opportunities start your freshman year. We don't wait around. You're going to have these opportunities from word go. And in fact, I've already spoke to some orientation students that are coming in that are already saying, hey, I want to do a research project in this or that. And they've articulated things that really made them get in, you know, that sparked their interest and that aligned with their academic interest in informatics, that they want to go ahead and start looking into and investigating. And they're going to have those opportunities first semester in the program. Once you secure a job position or you're going through that process, the development team, also the career development office, also helps you with the fundamentals of negotiation. In the business world, negotiation, in fact, negotiation is key. In fact, there's like undergraduate courses in negotiation throughout universities, as well as in MBA programs across the country. Negotiations becomes very key. When it comes to your salary and making sure that you get top dollar for the skill set that you're bringing to a company, okay? And so we work with you in that regard as well. Many of the companies that, we get this question quite a bit from parents is like, what kind of companies are going to be coming to your job fairs? What kind of stakeholders are invested in hiring undergraduate students? And so I put together this slide to kind of give you an idea that these are some of the companies that some of the stakeholders that we've been working with. So just to take a bit, kind of a step back, this program has been on our radar for quite some time, for at least 7 years. We've had industry stakeholders that have come to campus for job fairs and said, hey, we have these high-level jobs for your PhD and master students, but we have a plethora of positions waiting on students for undergraduate programs, for entry-level positions in data scientists and data consultants, UX researchers, product managers, interaction designers and developers, taxonomy analysis, business analysis, biomedical and health informatic experts, UX designers, software engineers, and web developers, and the like. These are some of the job positions that these companies, Visa, Microsoft, Amazon, Dell, Google, Indeed, Accenture, Schlumberger, AT&T, and there's many more that have come to us over the last 7 years and said, hey, we have these positions informatics, we live in a digital age. We need students who are experts in informatics. And so what you can see here is that there's health care industries with Dell Medical. There's, straight up IT with Google and Indeed and Microsoft. And then there's companies like Amazon and the financial industry and Accenture and Visa. So there really is no industry that is not touched by informatics. And there are a lot of positions out there waiting on our students that graduate. Just to give you an idea, my wife works at she's in the financial industry. She works for a large financial firm called Charles Schwab. And in their IT department, they have a few, right here in Austin, they have a few IT representatives there that actually teach as adjunct professors in the program and help informatics. They teach in our informatics program to help students understand what it's like in the information in the financial industry and what informatics looks like in cyberspace security, or what it looks like when it comes to UX design and building financial platforms online. We find this with Dell Medical as well. We have representatives that come over and they say, hey, in the healthcare industry, we need students that can wrangle data and crowdsource and do search, advanced search informatics with a lot of data sets. These are things that our students are the type of job positions that our students will be kind of going into as they enter as they enter industry going forward, or enter some of the internship opportunities that they're going to have here at the University of Texas. What we plan to do is have a job fair in the spring and a job fair in the fall, and it'll be advertised to our students. And then there's a campus-wide job fair that students are always welcome to go to. So we have our career development office here that puts those together, but we also have a campus-wide career office as well, that you can go and see a campus-wide career advisor about your different interests. Some of the things that I like to always leave students with is that when you're thinking about your career in some of these industries, always think about, like, let's say you become a health informatics concentration major. Always be thinking about, and we'll be doing this if you become part of our community, we'll be doing this in our one-on-one advising, about adding on a business minor or an econ minor, where you're doing micro and macro economics, as well as macro and micro theory, and then advanced courses with that particular minor in corporate banking and those kinds of things. We're doing a business minor where you're learning more about intro to finance and accounting and marketing and buyer behavior. We have all these YouTubers, right, who are influencers or a lot of people doing things through YouTube. These students, some of them haven't done this, but what I would say is, if you want to start something online, a business online, make sure you get a business minor, right? So depending on what your interest is, we may say, hey, do a certificate in elements of computing out of CNS that is in the computer science department that will further buttress your informatics degree, or do a business minor. When I worked with students in Cockrell School of Engineering, they always had, interest. If they were doing computational engineering, I would say you should do a design, go to the architect school and do one of their certificates in design. When you begin to expand your portfolio and broaden your knowledge base, then you become more marketable to industry, right? So if you leave here with an informatics degree in UX design and you have a business minor, that looks really good when you go into an interview, because they see that you have widened the perspective of value in your knowledge base. And this is something that, having worked with graduate students in MBA or students that are doing double majors in the undergraduate space, these are the conversations that we'll begin to have when you get to the university about what aligns with your interests, what aligns with your values as a person, right? And let's look at what you can do in your career that, bottom line, not make money, but what's going to make you happy. This is where I always have to talk with students and say, let's talk about what's going to make you happy and what aligns with your interests. And this is what really a lot of our students are attracted to the iSchool, because informatics is about making a positive social impact. So students say, wow, I can go out and make a really good living doing something I already love to do, which is interact on a digital space, but also I can make a social impact. So they feel like, hey, I'm doing something that's contributing something positive to our society. This is what the iSchool is all about. This is what informatics is all about. And this is what we can provide here at the University of Texas Informatics Undergraduate Program. So that's just a kind of a nutshell of what we offer here. I like to end these last couple of slides by just kind of going over one more time. You know, we love for you to be an iSchooler. We're bridgers. We connect people to information, connecting the past to the present to the future, and connecting different disciplines into one unified space. Our students are iSchoolers. If you have informatic questions specifically, I'm going to put my email address in the chat, and you can always email me if we don't get to a question here, because I see we got about 15 minutes, so I'll get to those questions in a moment. But if you have application questions, you can always reach out to admissions.utexas.edu if Jamie was unable to get to your question today. And one of the things that I always like to tell students, because it's on a first come, first served basis, is that when you apply and get accepted to the university, you always want to jump on your housing and always do that application process, apply for any of the scholarship opportunities that you see there for you, okay? Those are things that you want to always make sure that you're looking at and jumping on, because those scholarships become extremely key as you move forward into your college career. I'm going to put my email address here in the chat. Make sure that's correct. Yeah. And you know, and so with that, we're getting down to the end of this. And what I always like to tell students, you know, we have a slogan at the University of Texas that many of you that may be from the Austin area have heard, but we always say what starts here changes the world. You know, we have world-renowned professors here. You may have saw Matthew Mcconaughey on that at that first slide up there. I can't believe I forgot to mention him, but you know, he teaches a class at the Moody College of Communications called Script to Screen. He's an Austinite. He's one of the a Texas X. So, but we have a lot of different, you know, really great schools, from our business school to the College of Liberal Arts to our College of Fine Arts to the engineering to our School of Information. You know, you're part of a larger community here, and all of our students are here, and we teach them to go out and change the world. That's really what we are here to do. And we really hope that you become a part of our community here in Austin. So with that, I'm gonna say thank you so much for you know, coming today and spending your time with me. And I'm going to get to some of these questions, so you can always stay right here. How do you apply to the Informatics Honors Program? So you have to be admitted to the University of Texas first. Then you're going to get into and then you put us down as the school you want to be in. And then once you're here during your first semester, you will be we'll be coming to classes into that Intro to Informatics courses. We'll be talking about how to apply to the program. We have a page on our website that talks a little bit about it, but there's a lot of information that's still to come. So just hang out for that. How many freshmen is there in the iSchool planning to accept for the class of 2026? Very, very good question. Thank you for that. We plan on bringing in another 100. So this first year, we had a target of about 100 students for our inaugural class, but then we also brought in some external and internal transfer students. So all in all, we're going to have roughly about 135 to 140 students starting out. But we plan on every year for the first 4 years bringing in about 100 to 150 incoming students. So it is going to get kind of competitive, and go from there. What is the admission stats for informatics undergraduate program? Well, that's kind of what those stats are right now, because this is our inaugural class coming in. Average GPA and SAT. What I always tell students when they talk about that on the application process, is just submit whatever, just do the very best you can. One of the things you got to keep in mind is that the University of Texas at Austin, like many schools, and my son and daughter figured this out, when they were applying to the schools, they eventually chose University of Washington and University of Colorado in Boulder, is that it's competitive. And every year it's competitive. So those numbers, it's really based on the competitive nature of the class you're coming in, but just do the very best you can. But one thing I will tell you, like anything in life, how you articulate yourself. So in every application, no matter the school, there's an essay prompt. Make sure you identify in that essay prompt why this school, why this program is going to allow you to achieve your academic and career goals. Maybe do some research on the professors in the program and say, I like to do some work with Professor Smith or Professor Yee, because they're doing this, and I want to do this particular work with, this in health informatics, because I have someone in my family that's suffering from this ailment, and I want to know more about how we can build an online platform where they can check their level of diabetes, for example, and I want to work with that professor in that. These are some of the things that you want to articulate. Really make the connection of why this school, why this program can help you achieve the academic and career goals that you have. That's the best thing you can do, and then let the chips fall where they may. Is it very important for students to share as much about themselves with us through essays? Absolutely, that's exactly so absolutely. Share that stuff, okay? Humanize yourself in those essays and make sure that you tell us as much as you can. And then just go from there. And then also, reach out to the admission staff, and they can kind of give you more information there. UT Austin does a holistic review. Oh, okay, cool. I think that was probably Jamie. Yeah. So, okay, cool. I'm trying to see if I missed anything. Okay. So it doesn't look like I have, but let me go up a little bit. Okay, our data not broken down by college major information. Okay, cool. What kind of job opportunities? I think I kind of addressed that a little bit later, or a little bit further along when you asked that. But again, if there's any questions, about the program specifically, go ahead and reach out to me. You can send me an email, and I'll be more than happy to address your question. Like I said, this is something that I love to do. I wake up, I've been in higher education for over 15 years. I wake up every day, just knowing that there's somebody that I can serve and help navigate this journey of their academic career. And really, that's what I want for you. I want to help you design a program for you that's going to help you achieve happiness in life. Because when you're happy doing what you do, like they always say, you'll never work a day in your life. And that's something that I truly believe in. And the money is going to always come. If you're getting a college degree or an advanced degree, you're always going to be able to make money, but do something that makes you happy and where you feel like you're making a real social impact. That's what I always share with my students. With that, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down and get to my emails. Oh, I see one more new message. Let me see if that was here. Excellent. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you for coming and spending your time with me. I know you could have been doing a lot of other things in life, but again, I look forward to speaking with each and every one of you. If you have additional questions about the program, and again, thank you so much for spending your time, and good luck on your academic pursuits. I know each and every one of you will be successful because you're doing the research right now. So that's a good start, and continue to always seek that knowledge and do your research on that and ask questions. All right. Very nice speaking with all of you. Have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for being here. Take good care. Thank you. I appreciate that.